What's happening, YouTube? So in this episode I'm going to show you how to replace an electric shower. Quite a common issue, and a lot of people have these in properties, and they do over time just fail, and more often than not it is cheaper and far easier to replace the actual complete shower and get a new fresh warranty with it than it is to source the parts and repair it. So before anything, you're going to want to locate the isolation switch. This could be on a pull cord or a switch like this. Just going to kill the power to the shower. Make sure you don't electrocute yourself. You're going to locate your stop tap. However, on this one, the client doesn't have a clue where it is, so we've had to locate the one externally and shut that off instead. Look at all these, man. Sorry to disturb your home. Like doing that. I hate using external stop taps as they have a habit of snapping. However, this is a plastic one with a meter, so a bit newer than most. Obviously, as you can see now, this hasn't fully shut off, which ain't good. Obviously, normally these showers will be in a bath or over a bath or in a shower itself. So the water not shutting off completely isn't really the end of the world, because chances are it'll run down the tiles or whatever surface you've got on and into the bath or shower tray, so that's fine. However, on this job I don't have that luxury, because mine is to a hair washing station really close to the floor, and when that water starts pouring out, it's just going to pour straight on the floor. So yeah, I'll have to be a bit rather sharpish with this one. So currently what we've got in is a Triton T80Z. Now the equivalent replacement is a T80 Easy Fit. I got this from Screwfix. We need to make sure we're fitting the same kilowatts, what's got coming out, going back in. So most electric showers are the same. We need to release this front cover first. Now on this one there's a fixing point there and a fixing point there, and then one just underneath there, Phillips screws. So we're going to undo that first, and that will then release our front cover and give us access to the pipe work, the cable and the shower mounting points. So I'll just pull off now. I've undone them screws. So that the one side out the way. There's our inlet, water inlet, and our live neutral and air inlet. As you can see on this shower here, 7.5 kilowatts, which is the same as we've got over there. And on this fixing points here, you've got one, see if I can show you, tucked behind there, and at the bottom, just there. Obviously you want to remove your hose to whatever it's feeding. There will be a little bit of water left in there, but obviously we took precautions and put towels down everywhere. So we need to test now that isolation switch for the electrics has definitely killed the power to it. So I used a multimeter to do that. You can just use a sort of def stick. They're called a volt stick, but yeah, in the trade they're known as def sticks because they're not 100% reliable. So on the multimeter, we're on volts AC. Just going to put that probe in there on the live terminal and the earth terminal. Right, we're getting a bit of stray voltage, which is 3 volts, which is perfectly fine. What we don't want to see is around 240 volts. Then we're going to do the same across the neutral in the earth, and then across the live and the neutral. And that is all safe, done and isolated. Make sure no one can turn on the switch whilst you're working on this, otherwise you'll be in for a shock. Also, you shouldn't use power tools on electrical terminals. However, this is the old one, that's why I'm using it. When I'm putting the new one back together, I'll just use a hand screwdriver. So you won't have to do this, but I'm going to have to do this because obviously the water's passing. I've just got a 1/2 inch blank, so when I undo this elbow, compression elbow, off the cold feed to the shower. I'm going to put this blank on just to stem the tide. And it's not much, but it's enough. If I didn't have the bucket there or towels or this cap, by the time I've screwed and mounted the new one, the place will be flooded, I'll be swimming. Because we've undone that bottom screw, the top screw is adjustable. An adjustable point on it, just there, so I can leave that in position. And because I'm fitting another Triton T80, that screw is another mounting point off the new one anyway, so that'll be perfectly fine where that is. So this nut and olive now is compressed to the old shower. You can try it, you can try and get that off if you want, but I'm just going to put a new nut and olive on and obviously reuse the old compression elbow there. So unpacking your new one. You got your hose, your slide rail kit, as in the adjustable slide rail where the head would sit. However, we don't need this on this job because it's a hair wash station in a salon. So we will need the head though. All I'm looking for is the unit itself. Take care to keep your instructions to one side because you're going to need that for registering the warranty at the end. That's our front cover already off. We don't need that little fascia plate at the bottom. It's just a decorative cover and it literally just locks in either side of them two. We don't need that on at the minute. Electric cable points are in the same place as the old one, and the water is on a swivel so it can go on the left hand side or the right hand side. It can drop down this channel at the back or that channel at the back. So there's quite a few points of entry for both cables and water supply. You can even undo that terminal block there and screw it onto that side. It's actually a decent little shower, to be honest. This is one thing that people forget, including myself. So those screws for our cover, will keep them safe. But at the top here, where the cable and water feed can go, make sure you put these caps in, they just slide in. However, once you put the shower on the wall, they don't just slide in. You need to do it beforehand. That is a big mistake that we all make. There's our screw mounting fixing point, another one at the bottom. It's identical to the old T80Z, so we won't have to be drilling any new holes or making any new fixing points. Beautiful. First thing I'm going to do before tying myself in knots, your nut and your olive, or your nut and your cone. Put that on the water feed. I'm going to get my tubs ready again. I'm going to undo this blank off. I'm going to push that on, and that's the water feed done, out of the way, before doing anything else, because it's the water feed that I'm going to need most movement on this shower unit. If I screw it all up, fix it all up in position and then try and wrestle with the water feed, it's going to be, make it difficult. Don't make life difficult for yourself. Make sure it's pushed fully home. You just want to give it a little nip to keep it in position. And using your other spanner, hold the fitting square so you're not pulling against anything. You're not causing any unnecessary tension on any of the other pipework. And you don't want to go over tighten with this, it's only a plastic connection on the actual shower. We'll dry that off, then we'll do the electrics. It's obviously got a live neutral and earth. Make sure they're fully home. You don't want to be able to see any of the copper cable. It needs to be full socket. And handheld screwdriver. Just give it a little nip up. There probably is a torque setting for this, but yeah, I don't know it. Hold it in position just once you get it started tightening up. And now we'll get our bottom fixing back in now, to which I've now lost a screw. BEA, beautiful. beautiful. That clips to the front cover. It's the light, illuminated light, to tell you there's power to the shower. So we don't want to forget that. But right now, electric's done, water's in. We can now go and turn the drained water back on. This is always the fun bit. Best shut this tap off first. I left this open to try and ease some of the pressure or the water running at the shower point itself. Wish me luck. Wish me luck, ants. Get that little plastic tool and open it back up. So our water back on. I'm just going to check for leaks on the connections and points that we've just done now. All looks pretty dry to me. Right, let's carry on. So now it is in my way. Click our illuminated light into its little socket. It's pretty obvious where it goes. Then we're going to slide this on, and then we're just going to check where these dials sit, because as you can see now, that one is not finishing where it's supposed to. That's supposed to be there. So then you just pull it back off again, spin it round to where it should be, push it back, and then just double check. Perfect. That's ready for screwing back up. Exactly the same front cover screw points as the last one. 2 on top, 1 on the bottom. Hardest one is always the one on the bottom. And then we've got to connect our outlet back onto, which I'm just going to change the washer because we're reusing this outlet hose because it's an extra long one, with it being a hair salon. You do get a new hose, new washers, etc. with the new shower. You'll need to hand tighten these up. And that's that job done. Now we just need to commission the shower basically. So we're going to leave it on cold setting and cold temperature before we turn the power back on. So our power on. As you can see, the light's illuminated. Gonna let that run on cold for a short period of time. And then we're just going to slowly rotate clockwise, just trying to bleed any air out of the pipework before actually turning the heat exchanger, the elements inside these on. You don't want to get any air inside that, otherwise it'll not be a happy bunny, this shower. So that's all done now. That single stroke is water being heated up by 1 element, and that is 2 elements. Normally everyone leaves them on 2. And then again, slowly going to be rotating it clockwise, checking it's heating up and cooling down, and set it to approximate temperature you want it. Knock it off. Job's a good one. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it has helped you out, whether you're a homeowner, an inexperienced plumber, or even an experienced plumber and just enjoyed watching it. It's a bit different to the type of content that I usually post. I normally post out day in the life of a jobbing plumber. Now they are still going to be active going forward. However, I am just going to be throwing a little bit of how-to videos for the homeowners in the mix every so often. Just purely down to the fact that there's X amount of plumbers in the world, or people interested in this type of content, the day in the life. However, there is millions and billions and trillions of homeowners who might also find these type of videos useful. So if you have liked it, please give the video a like, drop me a comment down below, let me know what you thought, and consider subscribing if you haven't done already. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Dan, Central Heat King. I'll catch you on the next one.